now we have Lawman Nzenwa, a forensic auditor and fraud examiner, who will be discussing with us the controversies surrounding the tax reform bills, which has been suspended indefinitely by the House of Representatives. Thank you so much for joining us at this time.
You're welcome. And good evening, Nigerians.
All right, so the House of Representatives, suspended indefinitely the debate on the tax reform bills earlier fixed for Tuesday following mounting pressures from the 19 northern state governors. And of course, we've also seen today that there's been a rowdy session still as regards to the tax reform bills. How do you react to all of this?
Thank you very much. I think that the idea that it is maybe 19 northern governors that were possibly asking for more consultation may not necessarily be the true position. Many Nigerians, from what I could see, many experts would also want more consultations. Suspension of that tax reform bill to allow for more consultations is apt and is something in the right direction. Ordinarily, when a landlord of a house is trying to enter the house from the window, it speaks volume. Just the same thing. It is the right of government to collect taxes, to levy taxes, every government in the world. But it must be done properly. It must be done in such a way that everybody will be satisfied that due process has been followed and the right things have been done. So, to the extent that the House of Representatives did not push to maybe like the Senate did, possibly. I think they were right. And it's not only the northern governors that are maybe in tandem with that idea that more consultations ought to be made. But there must be more input into the tax reform bill.
All right, so at the heart of the opposition is the belief that the proposed reforms will disproportionately burden northern states and could also have devastating consequences for the northern region and other parts of the country. Do you really see it in that direction?
Yeah, I came to that knowledge, but then I did not just see it that way. What I see in the tax issue is that the whole arrangement has not been properly made. If, as it is now, if you allow it, it's not only maybe the northern state that will be affected, even ordinary citizens will be affected. For instance, let's look at this VAT, because VAT is at the heart of the controversy. If you look at the entire reform bill, VAT is at the heart of the controversy. There are issues that are supposed to be settled in that VAT Act, the area that concerns VAT. The issue like the relevant tax authority, it wasn't addressed. It's not been addressed. How is Federal Revenue Service being the relevant tax authority for VAT? Remember that VAT is a consumption tax. So it should be this issue of who collects VAT in the first place should be part and parcel of that tax reform bill. And these are some of the things you could get if proper consultations are made. Apart from who collects VAT, then you look at who pays VAT. Then, after the payment of the VAT, who is the person, authority, the tax person? Like we see companies being the agent of the government who collect taxes, and failure to remit carries penalty. Failure to pay again carries penalty against the same company. The citizens, the consumers who are supposed to be penalized for failure to pay tax or VAT, they refuse the companies, one of the companies, from deducting VAT from them. Landlords, retailers, wholesalers, they refuse. They refuse to allow VAT to be deducted, and the penalty is against the company who ought to deduct from them. So I think it should be redefined in such a way that everybody will be at par and that will be at peace with it. One thing at the heart of taxation is equity and justice. There must be justice inside the tax reform, and that is one of the things that I should be thinking about here. That it's not just about maybe it will hurt the north or it will hurt the south, it will hurt the citizens if it is done like that. If it is allowed, if it's not discussed properly and addressed properly.
All right, so what would you advise to be the way forward from here as regards to the step the House of Reps has, taken to halt the debate on the bill?
Yeah. Now, the way forward is what they have just done to halt it for now and allow for consultation. Now, allowing for consultation, which areas? Like I mentioned, the areas. Who is the relevant tax authority? Who is supposed to collect VAT? Is it the federal government? Is it the state government? Is it the local government? It's a consumption tax. They should consider even the local government being the relevant tax authority to collect the VAT, not even the state government, so that you collect tax. The VATs are collected from where the residents consume and not the federal government. There is nothing like allocation. You don't allocate anything in VAT if it is properly collected. If the equity and justice of it is done, you don't allocate anything. The local government that collects the VAT will be the one to use it, and not the federal government maybe using it and then start allocation. All this whole controversy is because somebody is talking about the wrong person collecting the VAT and now start distributing. You don't need to distribute VAT if the right person collects it. Federal government has no reason. There's nothing like issue. Then the North will no longer complain. The South will no longer. Nobody will complain. You collect VAT from wherever you consume the products.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.